And let's get the show going. Great. Good morning, Sawadee-ka. My name is San Ing with Work Optional. Welcome to our weekly Work Optional Masterclass. Today, I'm extremely excited to have three amazing guests: Luca Zambolo, Jason Lopez from Journey, one of our amazing partners using AI automation in the property management, and my partner Ariel Cochran with LoveNest PM, which does flexible leasing property management, including short-term rentals, and a client of Journey. And so today's topic is really, can we actually, through technology, using a suite of tools centered around Journey and other tools, can we actually fully autonomously um, manage short-term rentals? We're not exactly there yet, but I think we're getting very close. And so this is really a session to see the product from Luca and Jason, see how that works, and then getting some feedback from Ariel as a client. But before that, I want to quickly introduce Work Optional, WorkOptional.ai. We are a research-based AI company, which means we develop quite a bit of energies on R&D on AI applications, true enterprise applications of AI. That forms the basis of our knowledge to do the second thing, which is investing. In the past 3+ years, we have deployed north of $80 million into about 15 AI platform companies. So you know them: OpenAI, xAI. We're doing Perplexity right now as a secondary, but we're into a number of the major infrastructure companies like Tenstorrent, which is a competitor to NVIDIA, on the later stage side. And then we very selectively invest or co-found ventures like LoveNest, like Nestbrander, that we see are truly changing how we do business with the goal of 100xing productivity. So that's what we do at Work Optional. The research is provided for free through weekly newsletter, through the social media post, through master classes like this, and through meetups. So hopefully you can join us on that. So let's transition. Luca, welcome, and Jason, welcome. The dynamic duo behind the founder, CEO, and the head of sales for Journey. We, as multifamily owners, as short-term rental owners, have used most of the property management systems for short-term. We are now extremely happy. I'll let Ariel talk more with what Journey has provided. So I'm going to sort of segue that for Luca to explain what they are, and then maybe Ariel, you can introduce yourself and LoveNest and the relationship. So Luca, do you mind? Who are you? What's Journey? Why are we here?
Yeah, no, thank you for having me. Excited to be here. And yeah, I'm Luca Zambello, founder and CEO of Journey. Been in the hospitality industry for about almost 13 years right now. I used to be a property manager myself, who strongly believed in technologies and automations. I was extremely unhappy with the tech ecosystem existing, especially 7, 8 years ago, then I decided to start building our own solution internally for us. We were managing up to 300 units at one point. And to the point, though, that we realized that what we were developing was going to be a much bigger business than managing properties. So we put ourselves full time into doing that. That's how Journey started, and we're VC backed. And our goal was to bring automations and AI into hospitality. We've been pretty big believers from the very beginning in automations and AI, and we've been talking about automations AI for the past 4 years when people start talking about it right now, and I think that's why we're able to show results when many other companies aren't. So yeah, excited to be here and deep dive about this topic and the company.
That's great, Lucas. So you guys started as operators first, as you mentioned, you managed quite a few hundred doors. Who would you say are your competitors and who are your key clients?
Our competitors, I say that obviously like PMSs in the short-term rental space, I would say they're the most direct competitors. Although on the surface they can look very similar, we are actually very different. The, I think many people don't realize the power of AI and models that are out there already today. And even if models will stop developing and improving in power, we will still see massive disruption within the next like 4 to 5 years because the infrastructure, the lack of infrastructure that exists, that's where the opportunity is, right? We saw that coming and we really focused the company in building that infrastructure. So when those models would arrive, which now is the time, like we will be able to create really a next level of automations. To answer your question specifically, who are our target customers right now is from the SDR space, anywhere someone who manages like from 10 to 20 units really is the start, all the way to into the thousands of units. But the interest is not stopping just there. We're having major interest from hospitality companies. We have literally had large hotels begging us to integrate with their system. So yeah, it's obviously the future, and there's definitely interest there.
Okay, so you're targeting short-term rental operators, 10 units and higher. So they could be the owners themselves that are self-managing. It could be property managers like LoveNest, but you're also getting interest from actual hotels. So you're
That's correct.
competing with hotel systems as well.
We're not looking to do that, but they're asking us to get into the market. They're begging to
Okay,
get into the
okay.
market. So we're probably looking to expand there eventually as well.
So for a STR operator, an owner, or a hotel, if you were to choose one, maybe two reasons why they choose Journey over existing product or legacy product or competitors,
Well,
what's the main
I'll give you two
killer?
reasons.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah, like I think anybody that understands AI is the future and they look at the entire ecosystem, they understand that no one has built their solutions in vision of that technology coming. And we strongly believe we're the only solution in the market right now that has seen that coming and has built the system with a foundation to fully leverage this technology. And like you said, like, and the fact is that we can already show that, and which is that's the second component, right? Like, so many people are talking about this technology, but in reality, there's many different property management companies already that they're on our systems and have had like 5-6x improvements in their efficiency, their operating cost, and increase in revenue. So we're not only saying it, we're already showing it, and that's very even we haven't even scratched the surface on what's coming, right?
gotcha,
Like,
gotcha. So maybe just one more question, and I think this is important. So of your existing clients, um, can you say how many there are, and then how autonomous is it? What percentage are actually using that so that, and then have you seen any specific KPIs, for example, reduction of staff or increase? Like, can you give some specifics so that if
yeah,
you're
definitely. Well,
Mhm.
well, so let's talk about some of the automations that we're able to create. Obviously, guest communications is the number one, but it's a very broad task, right? And then the guest automations, there's obviously ability to answer frequently asked questions, troubleshooting, right? Ability to escalate things, and so we calculate about an autonomous level of about 80%. So most of the communication can be fully handled by AI, and what it's not able to be handled by AI, it gets automatically escalated to a human being, right? But then there's like a review management, there's a whole piece of pricing, the actual management of the software, utilizing AI, which we'll dive deeper a little bit into that. But I would say as guest communications, we're about 80% automations right now, which has been tracked by multiple people. But there's multiple layers of other automations that are they're about to come, like Once you have like things like automated SOPs, which we'll have soon, then you can have potential reduction in staffing on the operational side as well, or moving the staff to do proactive work versus reactive work. To be on a practical side, and talking about numbers, we have over 190 management companies right now running their entire operations on our system, and we have people who've actual data on it. Industry average on a good piece of software, you would have about 10 people for every 100 units to manage everything from guest communication to operation and everything else. Now we've seen those numbers dropping to about 3 to 4 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So live
因为
today with existing
我
client.
们没有挡住他，
Correct.
听不懂。如果说挡住他要这边，
Yeah, okay. Okay. That's great. That's a great number. So you went from 10 to 3 or 4. Any other
Correct.
measurements, actual
Yeah, we
KPI?
have we have like things like upsells, AI upsells built within our software. So the ability to automatically offer early check-ins, late checkouts, upsell packages, and that alone we've seen companies achieving even close to 30%. We have a couple companies that are almost close to 30% in additional revenue. So imagine like you have over 50% cost saving and an additional 30% in revenue. But I think that it's very important that our goal is not to really like be like, okay, you're going to be able to substitute entirely humans. No, but is to really enhance what humans can do and really focus your company to just have high quality people in your organizations versus people that have to do repetitive tasks.
Got it.
And really overall increase guest experience and revenue and differentiate yourself as a brand. That's the goal of what we want to do.
Gotcha. Okay, just for a bit of context for the folks who came in. So welcome to Work Optional. So Luca Zamboli and Jason are with Journey, and they're a cutting edge AI power short-term rental property management software system. Ariel Cochran is the co-founder and head of LoveNest PM, and they are one of Journey's clients, but also focus on embracing technology for flex leasing. I'd like to transition to Ariel in a second, but for context, for those of you not in the business, Work Optional, we're looking and featuring really the best AI technologies that truly are working, not a concept. They actually are working, and they truly are, targeting 100x or already achieving 100x in productivity. And so in the short-term world, if you just manage 2 or 3 Airbnbs, typically you just go to B&B. But once you get to 10, 100, 200 units, you have to go what's called multi-channel. So it's Airbnb, Verbal, Booking, Expedia, Hopper, Google Travel, and direct bookings. And once you go multi-channel, you have the same inventory, but the channels have different taxes, different commissions, different promotions, different pricing. So then you're obligated to have an overlay system, which is called a property management system. Obviously, in the long-term world, it's Billium, Zfolio. In the short-term world, there's a number of companies like Guesty, Hostaway, which we've used, and now we use Journey. And then Journey then basically oversees all this. It manages all inventory and pricing. And then there's also an AI pricing tool that we call dynamic pricing. So it gets pretty complicated, and I'll let Journey guys talk a bit more about that. But let me transition to Ariel. Ariel, tell us who you are, what's LoveNest, and what you're doing with Journey and other technologies, please, on the space.
Yeah. So my name is Ariel. I am managing a team that specializes in flex leasing options. So LoveNest is a property management company that wants to be known as experts in flex leasing. So most property management companies or owners either specialize in long-term rentals, mid-term rentals, or short-term rentals. And really, they either dabble in one or the other. They're not doing all of these different tiers of rentals. So what LoveNest has done in the last couple of years has tested out a lot of technologies, and we have really leveraged AI to find solutions for property managers and owners to generate more revenue, to lower cost, and to really make the solution for property managing more efficient. So we do all three tiers. We have sister companies that specialize in AI and technology. So we utilize our sister companies. We utilize Journey as a major tool in short-term rentals. And we have really just in the last months have been trying to become experts in all that we offer. So we are a younger company, but we, in the last 3 to 4 years, have had our hands on different technologies and discovered what really works, and trying to partner with long-term owners or property management companies to provide that solution on short-term, midterm, and long-term.
Great, great. Okay, so today's focus is on the short-term side. Can you tell us what you're doing in the short-term side? Are you multi-channel? Are you dynamic pricing? What were you on before Journey, and how's Journey helping you?
Yep. So we do utilize multi-channel. Before Journey, we're using different PMSs to see what was working, what was the best fit. And ultimately, Journey has been such a major tool for us. So Journey has a great function where we're able to list all of our properties on all of the OTAs, so Airbnb, Booking.com, Vrbo, Expedia, and Direct Booking also. And we have been able to not only list multi-channel, we've utilized dynamic pricing. So we have a team that works together to, it's not fully autonomous on dynamic pricing right now, but we strategize on dynamic pricing. And Journey has also helped us in our guest services. So right now we are almost fully autonomous on our guest services. So what that means is Journey uses a AI concierge called Nia, and it responds to our guest services. Anything that the guests enters into their original OTA, it'll upload into Journey, and Journey uses the AI concierge Nia to respond. And so we have spent some time training the bot. We have entered in prompts. We've learned what guests are asking, what the major needs are, and we customize it according to property. And we have been able to basically develop this really great tool that responds on behalf of us. So we have lowered the amount of time that we're spending in guest services, and the bot is responding. It's responding in multiple languages. It's providing solutions or recommendations for parking, for restaurants in the area. So it's been a really great tool. We still obviously have to train it. It's not a human being, but it's cut the time that we have spent and the manpower that we've used on our guest services.
So just to be clear, Nia is the name of the AI agent from Journey. And you're using different OTA channels. So it's a one space for guests. What is actually Nia responding to? Is it responding to questions about the neighborhood, whether there's a restaurant nearby? Is it responding to questions about parking, about room availability and pricing and promo? What is it actually doing versus what the human's doing?
Yeah, so I would say that Nia responds to majority of the questions regarding parking because we've entered in prompts for our specific properties. If it does not send a prompt about our specific property, it will send a prompt about parking in the area. It will respond with restaurant recommendations. So it will give you the top 5 restaurants with their ratings and the location. And then it will also answer questions, generalized questions about the property. What time is checkout? It sends all of our check-in information prior to check-in. And some of the more gritty details, I guess, like that the AI wouldn't automatically know, we handle. So for example, if a code fails and Journey is sending another code, we would step in at that time if someone's having an issue. So obviously it's not voice, it's message. And some of the more specific things, if it can't understand the request for repairs and maintenance. So if somebody asks, can somebody come out today to fix the running toilet? It'll direct them to contact the property manager, and then we would handle it at that point.
Gotcha. So it speaks multiple languages. Is the agent the front line, or is it the backup to your team right now?
So right now, the agent is the front line. So our team just monitors right now. We send prompts as it continues to develop. If there are questions that it doesn't understand, we prompt it. So right now we're in there monitoring and checking to see what it's responding. But right now it's the front line.
So on any given day, if there's like 100 inquiries from your managed portfolio, how much of that is really autonomously done versus, and how many times per day do you or your staff have to come in to help out?
So I would say about 85 to 90% Nia is handling right now. Our team goes in at the beginning of the day. We go in probably during around our check-in time just to make sure that the codes are there, or if there's any issue with the codes. And then I'll check it before bed on my phone if I see something popping up on my phone. But other than that, it's not a lot of time that we're spending. And it's been great. We just obviously have to continue to train it as issues pop up, but
And is your performance, your occupancy, your ADR, your RevPAR, and your reviews better? And how so? That's the
yeah.
bottom line.
Yeah, absolutely. In the last couple of months, we have been doing really great in our area. For a couple of our properties, we have consistently beat out market in occupancy and RevPAR ADR. We have increased our reviews, and we have been able to reply to guest services quicker than ever. We've been able to provide solutions quicker, and really at a glance see what the issue is and accommodate guests better.
Yeah. So I know you LoveNest manages properties in a couple of states in US and Canada now, both long-term, midterm, and short-term, and I know looking to expand to Asia. On the STR side, if you were to, let's say, go to 100, 200 units using this system, how do you see the staffing changing with or without this product? Yeah, like how does that change the game for you as a property manager in the STR space?
Definitely on STR, I can't see us hiring many more people the more units that we take on, because we have really just utilized Journey and Nia as a frontline. So in guest services, we probably could add 50 to 100 units and not need an extra person, because we don't spend as much time as we have in the past on guest services. And obviously dynamic pricing, we have a specialized team that works with that. So there's a little bit more work there. It does provide suggestions based off of market. But obviously the less time we're spending on guest services is more time where we can
Okay.
spend on other areas.
So is what Lucas said correct? If you were to add 100 units without the AI, you would be adding what, 5, 10 staff, and with the AI, you would not be needing staff, or you'd be needing less staff?
With what I would agree with what Luke is saying, with AI,
Yeah.
we would not really add more staff.
I don't, you know, I knew a chunk of this, but this is mind blowing, right? Luca, Jason, you guys are doing a fantastic job. Let me just sort of paraphrase, and I want Luca and Jason to come back in. But for the audience, we'll probably go another 15 minutes. I've got a lot of questions, and then we'll open up for Q&A. But what I just heard is that for short-term rentals, especially as you do many units, 10 plus 100,000, the operator owner has to go to multi-channel. Multi-channel is extremely complex. The OTAs have a lot of power. They're all different systems, different messaging. and then that forces you to use and so you're dealing with 6 or 7 different OTAs. You're managing all this banking, Stripe, all that stuff. But then you manage different messaging systems, different booking systems, different promos, different taxes. So the PMS that like Journey would sort of handle that. Then you still have Journey includes a AI pricing tool, I think, Wheelhouse, right? And so you need to learn how to price it like a hotel. So unlike long term, you actually have to teach the AI to change the pricing dynamically by the second, by the minute. So it's quite complicated, which needs a lot of resources historically. And what we're saying with this system, we actually can train it so that it's almost autonomous. Look, we're going to be 100% autonomous soon. But just in terms of what Ariel said, is that consistent with other clients' experience? And yeah, can you sort of add to that?
Yeah, it's actually there's a direct correlation with how much time the customers believes in AI and how much time the customer spends training the AI. So I would say like amazing job of Ariel. I think is like you guys are definitely in the top percentile of people that are actually using the AI properly. It's all about using the AI properly. And I think and this is actually a lot of the improvements that we're making is actually to help some of the people that don't know how to use it, but in reality is that people who are going to know how to use this technology properly are going to have an edge on everything. People are saying AI is going to take your jobs away. No, it's people that know how to use AI will take your jobs away. That is 100% what's happening because you have such a boost in productivity when you know how to leverage this technology. If you think that it's just going to go up and running and work on its own, it's not going to happen. You have to understand it, and you have to work for it. Some of it's going to happen automatically without you doing anything, but you have to put the work and you have to understand the technology. So, but we're seeing that more and more, right? Like people are buying into this, are understanding the importance of this, and are understanding how much is changing the market. But if you don't mind, I want to add one thing because you asked me, is it going to get to 100%, right? So to that point, right now, all the training is almost done manually. Some of the major upgrades are coming within the next quarter in Q2. We're going to have automatic training, automatic filling and proposals of frequently asked questions. So you just can go and approve whenever there's like frequently asked questions by guests, automatically approve like templates, ability to update SOPs, like so that Nia can take actions whenever there is like you just mentioned perfectly when there's like something specific that really happened in the units, like a maintenance request, and Nia doesn't really know much what to do. You would have an SOP. Nia could also propose it to you, but you can upload yours, especially the bigger your organizations. Most likely you will have these SOPs already for your own team. You upload the SOPs and Nia will follow the SOP. We'll also have a task management built inside also AI power, sentiment analysis. There's so much more coming just in the next quarter. And all of those things are coming to really like try to tackle that last 10-15% remaining to completely elevate operations and automations, to really then have teams focusing, like Ariel said, kind of being like almost the managers of this different AI teams, and then have more resources and time to spend into improving guest experiences and finding ways to make more revenues for you.
That's great. That's great. Actually, look at or Jason, can you guys just maybe 3 minutes show us what it looks like and how this works, just for the folks that have not seen or play with this? And just for the audience, we're not investors, shareholders of Journey, unfortunately, yet. We're not getting paid to do this. It's just a product that we like a lot, and we want to send kudos to these guys and hopefully encourage them to make it even better. But yeah, maybe Jason, do you mind just sharing your screen and just show us what it looks like, how it works, and then we can start also keep going with the Q&A and have audience questions as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Give me a second here to share my screen.
And it's a pretty big software, so it's impossible. We'll give you a quick glance, like a 5 minutes quick glance, but
Yeah.
it's impossible to show everything in 5 minutes. But go ahead, Jason.
Yeah, awesome. Can you guys see my screen here?
Yes.
Should be the inbox. Perfect. So this is our unified inbox, and this is usually the first thing that I typically show on demos because this is where management companies spend the vast majority of their time is just communicating with guests, answering questions about check-in, check-out, parking, door codes, you know, all types of different scenarios. And so here you can see that Anne, this was a direct booking through the website, was asking, so this is a follow-up question. It seems Anne has already stayed and checked out, and now she's asking if she can book 2 more nights. And you can see the pre-populated response here from Nia, the AI. You can see it's in English. If I click on change settings here, I can see all the different languages that the AI is fluent in. So there's over 50 different languages here that you don't have to worry about, you know, having to use Google Translate, for example. So it's just natively set up in the inbox here. If Anne was communicating to us in Spanish, French, Italian, any of the other languages that you saw on that list, it would just automatically be translated to English for you here. So it's breaking down language barriers. It's also instantaneously fetching responses to questions on your behalf. So what I mean by that is all of the information within a listing is available to the AI by default. So check-in times, checkout times, amenities, listing title, listing description, the pricing, the availability. So because all of that is available to the AI by default, if a guest is asking if they can have an early check-in, a late checkout, what their door code is, asking questions about certain amenities, about the parking, it can answer all of those types of questions on your behalf or on your team's behalf. And there's a couple of different modes that you can use the AI in the inbox in. So the assisted response mode is what you saw just a few minutes ago. When I clicked on a message thread that needed a response, it was pre-populated by the AI, but it was not sent. I have to click send to actually send that message. The full autonomous mode is exactly what it sounds like. You're letting the AI not just draft the message, but send it on your behalf as well. And it's very, very popular. Most of our customers create a schedule for this. And so they have maybe a team during, 9 to 5, but maybe from 9 p.m. to like 8 a.m., they will schedule the AI to answer autonomously for them. And so you can literally create shifts here for your AI to take over for you or for your team. So this is a very, very popular feature.
I see. So, sorry to make sure. So the assisted, do most of your clients start with the assisted, so it generates responses, but responses are then approved by the live guest, and then I guess then they would then graduate to fully autonomous once they're comfortable?
Exactly.
Okay,
That's
gotcha.
exactly.
And what's this brief pause 5-minute?
So some people want to have a pause. If you're using the AI on autonomous mode, it could answer very quickly within 3 seconds.
Mhm.
And so if you get a response as a guest within 3 seconds, you're probably going to suspect that maybe that's an AI. So you can add a brief delay there just to give
Gotcha.
it a more
Okay.
natural. Yeah.
So make it less good.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's funny how that works, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So the other very cool thing that I want to touch on with the inbox is this is actually in the process of being redesigned, and so there's a release coming very soon where all of these message threads are going to be automatically categorized and tagged for us. And so that is going to allow you, number one, to very quickly filter by inquiries or message threads that have issues or maintenance requests, for example. So just very quickly at a high level to be able to keep tabs on those types of things. But then number two is automate things to happen once a message thread is tagged with a certain tag. For example, a refund request. Escalate that to Ariel, for example, because she's the person that approves refund requests. If it's a maintenance request, maybe it escalates to somebody else because they're in charge of coordinating maintenance, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be able to automate entire workflows based off of those AI generated tags.
Sure. Typically, let's say a client has 20, 50 units and they onboard with Journey, they go multi-channel, they learn pricing. How long before they are comfortable in training Nia? And I'm assuming Nia has a memory, right? So it learns the best answers. How long before they are able to turn on the fully autonomous?
It does,
Typically
yeah.
for you.
Typically, everyone is a little bit different, but most companies will start with the assisted response mode, and within a couple of weeks they'll enable the full autonomous mode because they realize I'm just clicking the send button. I'm rarely ever editing a message, and usually when there is an edit, it's not contextual, meaning the response is actually correct from the AI. So it's like a preference. They're just editing the the grammar or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I think as an owner of properties, we do hire guest services. We use call centers, and we've used virtual assistants all over the world, like Philippines, Pakistan, India, South America, and they're cheaper than humans. But for us, it's really the most important thing isn't even the cost. The most important thing is the turnover and the training. Right. So to have a let's say an offshore guest services person to show up every single day, uh, and stay with you, it's actually quite difficult. And so for us, the training and retraining is probably beyond the fact that he speaks multiple languages and it's 24/7. It's probably even more important than the labor. Is that consistent with, I mean, Ariel, for you and also your other clients? Because people just think, oh, Philippines, or it's cheaper, let's go to Philippines or whatever. And that's true, but then the turnover and the training actually is it's not usually built into per hour.
Right. I would agree. It
Mm.
takes quite a lot of time to train all the ins and outs, not just through the PMS, but just through guest services, the SOPs for the company. So it's kind of, sad to see somebody go when they become an expert on something and then having to retrain from scratch.
Yeah, yeah, that's a huge problem in the industry, and the costs do add up. And AI doesn't get sick, works 24/7, and is even cheaper. So there's definitely an advantage there.
Yeah. So yeah, in this case, everybody develops SOPs for guest services, and it's a nice little manual, and then you train and train and train. In this case, you just use that with Nia, and then Nia doesn't quit, right? We hope Nia doesn't take coffee breaks, medical leave. Okay, sorry, Jason, please continue.
No, yeah, no, you're right. It doesn't take breaks. So some of the other exciting things that we've done with AI here that I'd like to show you really quick is the upsells. So this is essentially what we've done here is we've created a couple of pre-configured upsells for you. These are the most common ones that we see: late checkouts, early check-ins, extending your stay, or damage insurance on your stay. You can also create totally custom upsells though. So we have a lot of people that offer like stocking the fridge, or maybe they rent like paddle boards because they rent a house on the lake or something. So these can be totally custom upsells. And you can fill in all the information here to price it, to give it a title and a description. But what I really want to show you is how you can train the AI to autonomously offer this upsell. So for example, for midterm stays, because I know that you guys do midterm leases as well, you might want to offer a mid-stay clean. So that's very typical that for reservations that are more than 30 nights, you might want to offer that. So I'll say for reservations that are more than 30 nights, and now the AI has created that condition for me. So now it knows that it's only going to offer this upsell for the mid-stay clean for reservations that are at least 30 nights. I can have it send this message through the OTA, through text message, through WhatsApp, and I can also notify a human in the event that the guest purchases this upsell. So if it's an early check-in, a late checkout, or an extension of the stay, then those will autonomously update everything else on the back end, such as the reservation, the door code, and the cleaning schedule. If it's something else like stocking the fridge, for example, then with the task manager that Luca was talking about, we will create the task for the appropriate person to be able to fulfill that upsell.
Very cool. And it's a beautiful UI. It looks very intuitive.
Thank you.
Yeah,
And
thank
maybe
you.
like as the last piece, we can show just really quick, kind of like where things are going. And by the way, I know we mentioned before that we basically take care of all communication channels, so it's email, text messages, WhatsApp, like everything that is text right now is taking care of 100% of that. What's coming also in Q2 is voice. Ability to take also not just voice, but ability not only also to handle guest requests, but also ability to handle alterations and and new reservations, which is massive. So and that there was a lot of work being put into that, and it's going to be released in Q2.
So people calling in, your Nia would be answering, and does it do outbound as well?
Yes. So for example, on the upsells, exactly, like you could technically have it, or if you set specific reminders or specific things,
Okay.
it could also
And
do that.
what languages for
50
voice?
languages, like the 50 most
Really?
spoken. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have Thai and Vietnamese?
If they're in the 50, I'm pretty sure.
I think so.
If they're in the 50
Probably.
most spoken language in the world, I'm pretty sure.
Are you allowed to review which voice technology you're using?
Ariel. Yeah, Thai and Vietnamese. There you go.
Oh, nice. Okay, there you go, Ariel. You can expand here. Are you allowed to say which voice tech partner you're using? I'm just curious because that's a big deal.
Yes. Well, OpenAI. OpenAI has
Oh,
released
really? Okay,
some
it's not like a
amazing.
Sesame. Okay. Okay.
No, they actually have released some amazing voice APIs recently. We were waiting for that, and so
Great. Okay. So fantastic. Jason, anything else? If not, we'll head back to the Q&A.
maybe just super fast, just to show you a little bit the power of AI and how even future of management is going to work. You can just show you just a couple of quick things, Jason. You don't have to go in depth.
The Copilot or the coming
Copilot.
soon? Copilot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, I'm listening. How can I assist you today?
Hey, Nia, can you take me to the inbox, please? I'm not sure how to get there. Can you summarize the last message for me in the inbox?
Let me check the last message in your inbox. The last message in your inbox is from Ann Saunders, asking if she can book a room for 2 nights.
All right, sounds good, Nia. Can you take me to my calendar? I want to see the availability.
I guided you to the availability page to check your calendar. Let me know if you need further help.
Yeah, Nia, I need to put a maintenance block on Andres's unit 1 bedroom from Saturday the 29th of March to Sunday the 30th of March, please.
To confirm, you would like to place a maintenance block on Andre's unit 1 bedroom from Saturday, March 29th to Sunday, March 30th.
Yes. So Nia throws on me.
Yeah. Well, I was listening to Jensen Huang on the video interview. He's saying
There you go.
GPT. Oh, love it. Love it, right? So you're basically programming without having to program just by talking to it and giving instructions. Love that.
That is correct. And it's coming on a mobile app, so you can technically be on the go and you can be managing 1,000 units, and you can say, hey, like, because we built a sentiment analysis, is there any emergencies, anything urgent that is happening within my business? And it will tell you. You want to ask analysis, like a trend on how we're doing. By the way, there's Nia Data Scientist. It's built in already. So obviously we have multiple agents that handle multiple different things. That's using a different model. Gemini 2.5 for data analysis. Yeah, and you would literally have a conversation and say, hey, how am I trending? can you compare my ADR this year to last year at the same time, right? How am I doing month over month? Any suggestions? And you could have
Gotcha.
entire
Yeah.
conversations, just like you had a GM managing your entire software. You can have entire conversation with it. It's just pretty crazy.
Great. Hey, Jason, can we unshare screen to go back to
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
you guys' hands? Thank you. Thank you. No, that was great. That was great. So we're I think 10 minutes in. There's a few questions. There's a question from I think Angie. If she has a smaller portfolio, does it fit for Journey? What's your advice there, Luca?
Yeah, it depends on the size. I mean, we right now not really taking many customers. I mean, we have a minimum basically pricing that we require. So if you're like about like 2 to 3 units, we can still take you, but that's not necessarily our target. Usually we try to have a threshold of at least like about 10 units. But yeah, I mean, technically the software works even if you have 1 unit, and it can be it's more for our side because it takes an onboarding and we don't want to dedicate too many resources for smaller customers, but it will work.
So Angie, I have a lot of friends in the business. And typically, if you only have a few units, it's just the intellectual and the expertise to do multi-channel, the setup. It's actually that it's quite a bit of work to get the banking set up and getting the different accounts set up with booking, Expedia. They can be a pain. Those LTAs are pretty painful to deal with. And then once you do that, then you have to learn Journey, which doesn't look that hard thanks to these guys. But then once you have that multi-channel, you would need expertise on AI pricing because AI needs to be taught how to price it. So typically, my suggestion, and Ariel, please chime in, is you probably want to think about a bit more units before you invest the intellectual and the financial capital and the human capital to do what we're doing here. But if you have ambition to get to 10, 20 units sooner, you should definitely do it. Ariel, what do you think?
I would agree. If you're looking to, it is a great tool, but yeah, typically there's a lot of costs and background operations involved. So might not be quite ready for it, but down the line for sure.
Sure. Luca, I want to just ask you, let's back up more strategic because you're obviously a pioneer. Where do you see this space in STR hotel management? How does AI impact the space in 3 years, 5 years? What does this look like? What does the industry look like? Not just what Journey's doing. What does the industry look like? How does it change? Who is it disrupting? Is it going to be a glorious life where everything's automated and we can just go and hang out at the beach? Give us your crystal ball 3, 5 years from now in STR management.
Well, I believe that the standards are going to get much higher, and I believe that the companies that are going to be disrupted are the ones that are not going to adopt this technology, because this technology is just going to give you a major competitive advantage. It's going to make you way more scalable, and it's going to make you way more profitable, and guests are going to have such a much better experience than anything else on the market, which is going to automatically, obviously, make you outperform compared to everybody else. So it's just really, it's going to be a no choice for people. Either you adapt or you're going to get disrupted. And I think there's going to be a lot of companies that are going to be disrupted. And the companies that are going to have the hardest time, to be honest, to adapt to this is going to be a lot of the big hotels. The ultra luxury, it's okay, they might survive, but still, the ability to customize guest experiences with AI and giving personal touch, which is counterintuitive because that's what everybody said. Like, oh, AI is not gonna be as good as humans. You're right, it's not gonna be as good as humans. It's gonna be much better. Like think about this. Once I have an entire profile of a guest, whether it stayed at a property in Austin or stayed at a property in Miami or stayed in LA, like I have a full guest profile. I know what their preferences are. I know what they like. I know what they want. And we can just like literally customize their stay for every single guest. Once they have that level of customizations, the level of personal care, they're always going to want to stick with you, right? immediate responses, and in the end of the day, guests really, the most important thing a guest wants, get what they want right away, as fast as possible. There's not going to be faster than AI. Predict guest behavior and what guests want. So that's really where we're going. There's not going to be many successful companies not utilizing this type of technology.
Mm. I love the point. I want to emphasize the point, Luca, what you just said, that when I do speak to owners and PMCs, one of the major objections is AI is not as good as a person, especially in the higher, whether it's long-term, A class, B class, or midterm or short-term. I fully agree with you. Properly trained with human assistance or guidance, you're basically saving time, right? For the leasing manager, for the guest services manager, for the hotel front staff. And if you're luxury, if you're spending 10 hours dealing with low-level tasks that AI can do much better, then if you could save 5 hours of that, and then you got 5 more hours to actually do the human touch, that actually changes the game. So I think that's a really, really good point that a lot of folks don't think about.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the crazy thing is that AI is going to be pretty good at doing some of the high-level stuff as well. And I think that's like I think a common misconception, but when you're able to predict behavior or predict needs before they happen, that's pretty game changer.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, so any audience that want to pop in and ask questions, please do so or text it. I want to. This is not a commercial for Journey or LoveNest, but I want to ask LoveNest Ariel, what areas, weaknesses, or issues have you had with Journey and this process, and any suggestions for the audience and for Luca and Jason?
I would say on the spot. I would say that obviously like newer features have to, you have to work out those kinks. So just kind of developing an understanding of how we can leverage them, like seeing the upsells was really cool. And then just seeing how you were able to contact a person. So originally when we added the upsells for early check-in, it was charged at a lower cost. And I don't think we fully understood how to configure that. So we were underselling our check-in. So our cleaner was like, $20 an hour, or for a couple of hours early check-in, like we definitely needed to be charging more. So we had to go in and fix that and kind of customize it. So obviously just configuring some of the newer features to benefit us better and customize it for our particular properties.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, and definitely, I think there's a lot of value because as you expand the software and the functionalities, like really, the training is going to be very important. AI is going to help with that as well. That's where it's going. Where Nia eventually is going to be making also suggestions how to improve revenue and the utilizations of tools. So
Yeah. Okay. That wasn't so bad, Ariel. I thought you'd be tougher on these guys as a client.
No, the upsell, that's the first thing that came to mind. The upsell was at first where I was like, what is this? It's looking spammy to our guests. I was like, oh no, they're going to think we're like crazy. So we had to figure out how to configure it. But yeah, that was the thing that was at the top of my mind. It's most recent.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, so we're coming close to the hour. I mean, if you really think about it, Luca has said you've got a lot of clients now, Journey, and you're saying, if prior to this automation, you're needing 10 staff per 100 units. Is that what you said? I guess services, bookings. And now you're down to 3 to 4 staff, and looks like Arrow is agreeing with that. I mean, that's that's not just a massive cost reduction, but you're now offering 24/7 multilingual support, which is a massive guest experience improvement, right? So I don't, again, as an owner, I don't think about just the cost. I'm thinking about, wow, now I'm actually speaking in Chinese or Korean or Swahili, whatever it is that the guest wants to speak. and giving 24/7 support. I'm not sure how you quantify that from a tenant or guest experience standpoint, but certainly I think that's maybe even more important than the cost savings, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you seeing success in the upsells that are automated? Are you generating more income?
Yeah,
So we're lowering the cost, we're improving guest quality services. What about in terms of income? Are you seeing actual traction? I guess question for Arrow and Journey. Are you able to get more money in with the system?
I can answer from my standpoint. We have been able to add more or increase our revenue because we've been able to. I wouldn't say that it's something that automatically we would message a guest about for early check-in. So we've had a lot more inquiries about it and been able to go ahead and process it.
Yeah, it's again like every tool, like it takes a little bit of all learning how to master it and fully leverage it, and I think it looks like Ariel's is getting there as well. And but we have people that have like created even like additional packages, additional to the ones that they're like more standards, and like in even experiences. We have actually partnered up with a pretty big company to offer even 300,000 experiences on our referral program as well, affiliate program. And we've seen people increase revenue even over 20%. We have a couple customers close to 30% in boost in revenue. But then there's also an indirect boost of revenue, which is like faster guest response. People don't know, but that's how you rank higher on many of these different OTAs. So when you respond sub 5 minutes, sub 10 minutes answers 24/7, you will automatically rank higher. And then there's obviously listing optimizations, there's even when you write descriptions, you can use our AI. It's fully trained on how to optimize text specifically for ranking, answering reviews, using AI to answer reviews that shows that you're an active host and answers review. That also increases ranking and review. So there's a lot more that also it's less directly measurable, but it has a big impact when you add it up all together.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay. No, it's amazing. I personally, as an owner, I'm mainly speaking as an owner of multi-family, both long-term, midterm, and short-term. I see no other way. This has to be the future, but this is the present and the future, right? So, yeah, I want to commit to the time schedule. Jason, Luca, or anything else to add? Any questions from the audience? Great. Okay. Well, hey, listen, thank you so much. I learned a lot today. I'm even more excited about hopefully working with Ariel's team to expand the portfolio with Journey and keep costs very, very low, but really the services side and the performance side at the same time, really 10x, 100xing that. I think it's truly, truly amazing. It's a miracle.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited about a partnership with you guys, and especially partnering up with companies who understands this technology and understand the potential, because I think that's key. That's how you fully leverage it. And yeah, super excited, and I enjoyed the conversation today. Thank you for having us.
Actually, since Cecilia came, hey Cecilia. So Cecilia is a good friend of ours, and she manages a lot of long-term rental units. I know, Ariel, maybe you can mention you're getting demand from long-term PMCs that interest to do STR, right? Can you guys talk about that? How that might work with Journey and LoveNest? Yeah, maybe Ariel first. Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of long-term owners and PMCs do not want to touch STR. They don't have the extra resources to have a person be committed to STR or midterm. So I think that what LoveNest provides is really strategic, because we've learned what works best. And we're committed to utilizing the technology that will help us leverage best. So we have the ability to partner with tools like Journey to provide value to long-term owners and let them know that we'll take on your short-term units, and we really know how to work our dynamic pricing, our multi-channel, and improve guest services. So we take out all the legwork for property owners and for property management companies. So taking that burden off their hands and providing solutions for them.
Great,
Yeah.
great. Cecilia, do you want to add to that? Yeah.
Oh yeah, when they were sitting there talking, I was thinking about how we could use them from not just an STR but an MTR. You know, the long-term renters are 12-month leases plus, but midterm rentals, you know, are anything that is more than a week at this point because STRs are considered short-term. But if you have somebody who stays there more than a month, and let's just use that 30 days, anybody that stays there more than a month, my mind, I was like, how could I get you guys to improve that type of traffic to come in and lease from like 32 days to 180 days? And how would you do that? Like, how could you do that? How could you help me do that? I know you could, because I sit here listening to you guys and I really love the product, and I don't have a lot of STRs. Most of my stuff is long-term rentals. But because of the changes that we are facing right now, you know, we have to constantly pivot, and using something like this would help us continue bringing in that income. So um can you talk to me about that a little bit?
Yeah, definitely.
MTR.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Jason probably has even more example because he talks with way more customers than I do. But we definitely can help with that. Obviously, leasing on a lot of these OTAs do offer midterm, and so that will obviously create a lot more exposure. And with our platform, you'll be able to basically fully automate the entire process. Because the problem is the shorter the terms, the more labor intensive it becomes. And so yes, the ADR increases, but also labor increases drastically with it. And so and that's why, and the shorter the terms, that's where the most value so that we provide, because we can automate a lot of it. But we have many customers that do both midterm and short term on our platform, a mix of both, or even just midterms, and they got a lot of value from it.
That is where you guys would be able to help us, is because we don't have the bandwidth to do the STRs, nor do we have we have the experience to do the STRs. Like, let's be clear, my people are trained to sell apartments on a long-term basis, not a short-term basis. And they, you know, while they may have some success, we cannot do it at scale because we don't have the ability to do that.
Yeah, and the partnerships like companies like Sam's company, obviously, like that's why we have partners like him, where obviously in those situations where we understand a lot of multifamily owners don't want to really get into the understanding of how into that day to day, because it's a different business. But in reality, when you can differentiate your assets and also monetize from that type of assets, and you have a mixed use building, it will increase your NOI by quite a bit. So we've found owners that are open to that having quite a bit of success. So yeah, there's the midterm, there's a short-term opportunity. I would explore both if I were you.
Yeah, I have a property in San Antonio that I'd like to talk to you guys about. So if one of y'all could contact me tomorrow, that would be great.
Awesome.
Ariel.
I actually pulled her email up, just so you guys know.
So Cecilia and I met through a multifamily investment mastermind that historically has purchased about $1 billion a year of multifamily. And Cecilia is the rock star in the team, because she manages she comes from a property management background, manages tens of thousands of doors. But Cecilia, I mean, talking to you and other owners, I've not found one that own. You know, there's a guy that owns 20,000 units, and there's smaller guys like me that own a couple of thousand units, and then folks like Cecilia that manage tens of thousands of units. But I've not met an owner that doesn't want or doesn't have a need to do midterm or short term, but 100% don't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And if they use a third party PMC in long term, 100% don't want to touch it. But the owners and some PMCs, the one that we know pretty well in St. Pete, Florida, they actually are getting pressure from investors. So, for example, an investor wants to invest in Florida, but they want to make that a short-term rental. That PMC can't, that brokerage can't take it on because they can't manage it. So I think Ariel's mentioned she's being asked by this long-term PMC to partner so they can buy that building, make the commission, but then not have to manage it, but letting the LoveNest manage it. So there's a lot of opportunities like that we'd like to explore a bit more with Cecilia and LoveNest and you. Right.
Yep.
Great.
Absolutely.
Okay. So we're officially over the time. Unless there's any more burning questions, we'll make this recording available. And is it okay to leave Jason or Luca's contact on the outreach to their subscribers as well?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. And Ariel, you as well. And yeah, okay. Great. Well, hey, thank you again. Great session, learned a lot. And thank you for keeping to improve the product so we can automate. Love it.
Yes. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Talk
Thank
to you tomorrow,
you.
Thank you.
Ariel.
Ariel.
Right.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.